Hello again, everyone. Melth here, with more of my Baldur's Gate 3 challenge run. This time I'll be fighting Ketheric again, in the bowels of the Mind Flayer colony and taking on his form as the Apostle of Myrkul as well, which is regarded by many as one of the toughest fights in this game. But I'm going to show you a strategy trick that I've devised, which, regardless of your party, will help you a great deal with this fight. Should be a lot of fun. As usual, details of my challenge run are in the YouTube video description, and watch out for spoilers throughout this run. Alright, so somehow or other, Karlach got stuck back there. Let's see if we can Nope, come on. Let's see if we can unstick her. Oh, eye patch. Oh, that's Maul's eye patch. Okay, let's grab that while we're here.
This is Maul's. Where is she?
Good question. Alright, hop on up, and then we'll see if we can get Astarion over here too. No, come on, camera. Can't get there. It's literally right there. Is he blocked by these things? Very silly. He just can't go anywhere. Okay, so there totally was a path around them. Yeah, this game's pathfinding is pretty bad sometimes. Don't give me that now. So let's head up north to the final boss room. Now, there is a pod over there, which helps a great deal with this fight, really, giving it a full restore. I won't do that because that counts as a long rest for my challenge run purposes, where I'm avoiding such things. But you can go in guns blazing to this fight. Alright, let's ride the elevator. It's a cool view here, I think.
Feels like something down here has the excitement.
We read a book indicating that there's an elder brain, so it really shouldn't take us by surprise in character. So here is where we lose rejuvenating by us, but then we'll regain it like immediately. Yeah. Not that we need it, because we already have our undead horde. But in any case, beyond that door awaits a cutscene that's pretty great, and then we have time to buff before the actual fight. Through we go.
No longer a background murmur. The presence in your mind builds to a roar.
We found it.
I wonder if it's aware of us here and just kind of plays dumb and doesn't tell the Chosen about it. Of course, the Dream Visitor here is also playing dumb. I'm not counting it constantly, pretending it doesn't know exactly what's down here against its vast count of lies and half-truths, but it really should be. Fun introduction to Orin here, just showing her clowning around, sitting in that guy and being juvenile, which is appropriate for her character. But now the writing takes a major turn for the worse. The details of it are good, developing their characters or whatever, but the broad scope of it, they just make constant, stupid, cliche villain choices to make the plot work here. And I don't like that very much.
Oh, the general voice.
Now, it makes some sense for them to be bickering because things are going kind of poorly for them, but
With cleavers through his blood-starved.
this is very Ball stuff, but I do get annoyed by her just constant
Carrion.
incoherent rants about bodies, corpses, and murder and things like that. At times it don't really make much sense. He does have a point there. Unlike Orin, he does contribute a little bit to this team. I don't know why they keep her around, because she has never once helped them with anything useful. At the best of times, she's dead weight. Most of the time, she actively works against them. And she took the Dark Urge off the team, who was actually good.
Pour it into my hands here.
Ketheric is completely right about that. If they'd cease these distractions and work together, they can now get the prism. But instead, they just randomly leave for no reason. Typical villain stuff. And now Ketheric is invincible. He made a whole big show about, oh, I don't care about being hit in the face with a halberd 2 times. But now he acts as though this random dagger matters to him. He's back to being invincible. What does he care? His writing about that is just incoherent and inconsistent. And she's being silly because she should know that she can't hurt him. But she is a clown.
Again.
He could just swat her out of the way and punch Gortash.
A march to Baldur's grave.
You know, if there's one thing we know Baldur's Gate is not, it is Baldur's grave. And it might be by the end of this run, but
Might I suggest closing?
how about you, as one of the fingers of that fist, help with that rather than let him ruin the entire plan? There's no reason for them to hurry out of here. They can teleport, and when they get to Baldur's Gate, they do nothing. They just sit around throwing barbs at each other. They should just take 5 minutes to get us and get the prism. This is a cool scene, though. Although, come to think of it, if any of these gods had a lash, you'd think it'd be Bane the Tyrant, right? Like, you know, the lash of Bane, the stabbity-stabby of Baal. I wonder if, like, the hat grew to fit the brain, because presumably it was not made that big. I like the detail there of their faces. He shows concern, he knows things are going wrong. Orton has a vacant smile because she's brainless, and he kind of acts like he's too cool to join them for a while and then helps out eventually.
An elder brain. One of the cruelest emotions.
Elder brains are immortal. They have a life cycle and get old and die eventually, have to be replaced by Ulitharids.
Mortals.
There we are. It wouldn't do to fight in front of us.
I don't know why Ravengard didn't make any attempt to get away. He's not bound, he's not mind controlled yet, but he just sits there passively. I mean, they'd probably kill him or fight him or whatever, he wouldn't get away, but you think he would try at least.
In vain, olderling. Once the worm holds the whip, your shredded flesh will serve us.
Now,
It's really not time you were going. It's really time that you solve this one problem that could apparently ruin your plans. But they've got to do cliche villain stuff.
Ketheric, do try not to sulk.
I do like that line.
To be the fearsome general come to conquer the city.
Well, we will square off against the incredible sulk after one more scene here.
We'll save it.
So again, they can teleport. They could probably teleport back here. But they won't. This is also a scene that doesn't make much sense because it has been established repeatedly that the cult does not know mind flayers are in charge of them and they're terrified by mind flayers, and when a guy sees mind flayer tadpoles, he goes nuts and tries to swim for his life away from them. But now they don't care about an elder brain and Nautilus showing up in the sky above them. Now, some of them are tadpoled, some of them are undead, so that's fine, those don't need an explanation. But some of them are just like not tadpoled. And so for them to suddenly not mind this stuff doesn't make any sense. It contradicts what's been previously established. Alright, well, cool boss fight coming up here. We have time to buff up because I guess Perception isn't a paladin class skill, so he doesn't notice us casting spells here. He won't notice us taking a nap either. I don't really need this, it'll give me back Father Lube though, so I guess I might as well. Now, I want to say, if you want to skip Ketheric's long monologue, you can do that. Just have someone going invisible that's not a main character, Shovel's an obvious choice, and hit one of the brain boys down there. They'll go into a fight, they'll be surprised, and you can just walk in with your main characters and skip the whole monologue. But I try to do the entire story for this run, so I won't be doing that. Let's summon Scratch instead, who will be more useful here, therefore, because having someone who can do the help action is handy. We don't need him, but it's useful. Then let's have Minthara give him Long Shredder so he can keep up. There we go. Then let's have our doggy drink an elixir of vigilance so we can actually take a turn in combat. And then let's start buffing ourselves up with enhanced leap so we can jump around. We might as well throw out soul branding on people too, I think.
Be running.
Alright, conversation beginning now. Soul branding looks like it's about to wear off. We'll see. Monologue incoming.
There you are, as predicted. What is it, I wonder, that draws one toward death like a moth to life?
And we can't interrupt this prematurely or anything like that.
You could have run away.
You could have kept your allies in the Elder Brain here and got the prison that's opposed as the one that could stop your plan. But you're too stupid, and the writers just wanted to make things convenient.
Fulfilling my destiny. But the lure of one's destiny is irresistible, isn't it? Perhaps you hope to...
We already clobbered him, too. One thing I don't like about his writing is he goes back and forth from just insane overconfidence to being scared of trivial things that he shouldn't actually be concerned about, like Orin's knife. But now, even though we've crushed him before and freed Aelin once already, now he's not concerned at all for some reason. You've been beaten, like, again and again and again, Ketheric. Including by us.
Fear that drives you. Your freedom hanging in the balance. Let us speak plainly.
Another thing that don't like about his writing is that this part kind of ceases to make sense. See, his motive for joining Myrkul, that makes perfect sense. The other gods failed to bring back his daughter or whatever.
Life returned.
God of Death is a reasonable one to turn to. And he did his job, so of course Ketheric has some gratitude toward him. That makes sense. But he's upheld his end of the bargain quite well. He doesn't actually have any need to keep serving Myrkul. Now, maybe you could say that, like, I don't know, Myrkul would unrevive her if Ketheric stopped serving him well or something. But really, Ketheric should be happy when we kill him in that case, because that means that his daughter gets to live in a world that's not, her being eaten by mind flayers or whatever, or killed by insane ball cultists or something like that. That's a happy ending for him and his goals. But instead he acts as though that ruins everything.
I will kill you now.
If anything, he should be fine just losing here and thereby Isabel gets to live. Now, we already knew this, he wrote this down, but in character maybe there's one of those scrying eyes around. If he gets him on camera saying this, it might help sow discord among the enemy, so he'll ask it.
Yes.
And I do think it's just funny how he says that too, very casually.
Join the army of the dead, true soul. Witness.
What if you instead joined my army of the dead? I think mine outnumbers yours right now.
So long as Night Song's in that cage, Ketheric will...
Looks like our buffs wore off very unevenly for some reason. But that's fine. Let's survey this battlefield, which is one of the best designed ones in Act 2. It's cool in that it has all these different 3D platforms, some of which have ladders, some of which don't. Different elevations too. And as usual, you might think that you get advantages from being up on high ground, and that's kind of true. But there's a twist too, where when he goes into his final form later on, he can kind of gravity wave pull you in and off those platforms, so you can kind of be punished for being high up a little bit. So I think that's great design here and a lot of fun. Now he's injured. He's back to being invincible, but we know how to solve that. Our own team's Orin, a useless, violent idiot, is over there tied up by a couple of mage hands, apparently. And if we just have anyone go over there and do the help action, she's instantly freed and can join in. There's a pack of 4 little intellect devourers down there. I mean, you've seen that they aren't much of a threat. Over here, there's a pack of necromites, which are, also not much of a threat. I want to point out, you actually could profit a little bit from deliberately leaving those guys alive. Because you can then harvest them if you have bloodless elixirs like I do, for free actions in future turns. And they're no threat. Who's in the back among my party? Minthara is, okay. So Minthara, you run up to the limits of your movement there. Then we'll have you throw down a haste spore grenade. We will splurge in this fight. So now you've got haste. Now you can maybe activate Falarlu's Sing to just help deal with Ketheric's high armor class. We don't really need it, but I enjoy using it. You could do Shriek, but it's not that good against him because he has Magical Plate, and so does Myrkul, which reduces all incoming damage by 2 points per damage type per instance or whatever, which makes that D4 thunder damage really do not very much to him. We could fireball those guys up there. It's probably a decent choice. Let's do that. Yeah, we don't need to react to that. Fun stuff, so we've really laid waste to them. One of them really got super lucky. Must have made a save and it rolled minimum damage against him or something like that. Weird. Okay, but that's all a good start. Let's have Minthara get in there and get those haste spores and buff herself, and Astarion who'll come in there, I think. So, throw out a super bless, because you have that staff that makes bless really power people's cantrip accuracy. Minthara is probably more likely to throw out a cantrip than Karlach is here. So yeah, we'll go with Minthara. Alright. So, we then have her lightning blast those guys over there, I think. That could be a decent use for turn. I'm not going to max it out, it's not actually that important. Did we get all of them? We did. Okay, sweet. Run back over here where we're near the haste for future rounds, I guess. Now, Ketheric kind of got lucky in initiative, beat a lot of my summons, so I can't have the birds fly in and help out, but that's okay. Let's have this air elemental fly on in there, get that haste, and then go up and not get the haste. Come on. Breathe in those spores with the lungs that you don't have and the mouth you don't have. Alright. Get up there and pummel that mind flayer. Alright, save against the charm. We could rushing air it, or we could just... Does it have a normal melee attack? Doesn't. Okay. Which is stronger then? Primordial Gales shocks it, or we could just... Yeah, we'll do that. Good damage. Other air elemental. Fly into those spores. Fly on up. Should kill it. Low rolls, that's fine. There we go.
Time for a cull.
I think I want to hit you with... I don't care about damage right now, I'm just trying to apply debuffs, like penalties to your dexterity to make it a little bit easier to hit. That won't apply because of his heavy armor, but it will carry over to him being in his Myrkul form or whatever, so it is worth a little bit that way. Oh, right. Yeah, that was a silly mistake on my part. Alright. Alright, fair enough making fun of me for that, Ketheric. Doesn't matter though, I've got tons of attacks, and I'm not going to try to actually kill him right now, because that's, oddly enough, not actually helpful. Here's the thing. When he dies, he gets immediately replaced in initiative order with Myrkul. So the typical team that's much weaker than mine, you would probably take most of your team members to take him out, and then he gets a turn as Myrkul to do powerful attacks to you. Which could hurt, potentially. Now, for me, that's not really a problem, because I could easily kill him and have enough attacks to spare to take out Myrkul 2 in one round and not even worry about it. But for many people, that could be a problem. So the smart thing to do is, don't just kill him now with all of your attacks or whatever. Weaken him a lot, leave him just barely alive, make sure this idiot doesn't screw things up for you, and then either kill him after his turn, so Myrkul has already had Myrkul's turn skipped basically, or at the start of a fresh round when you have all your guys ready to go to just demolish Myrkul that way. Alright. The goose is on the loose.
No choice but to keep going.
Let's see.
This feels good.
If I have you harvest one of these guys for a kill, that would be smart, I think. Another action, that is. My accuracy against him is not amazing because of low ground, but yeah, it's going to be good enough because I don't care. I don't actually want to kill him right now. Could that make him fall over? I'm going to try it.
Dress thy face, the hags are hiring.
Alright. I could put a Hunger of Hadar on him. My goal is to keep him just barely alive and just locked down where you don't need to deal with him. If you jump... No, come on, jump. Do it. Get into those haste spores. There we go. You might be able to entangle him, maybe. Or could entangle her. Let's try to just slow him down like this. Limit his options. We do need to make sure the damage doesn't kill him, but that will probably be okay. So we want to soften him up a bit, but not to the point that he's going to die. We probably want to take out one, but not both of those guys. Maybe shoot an arrow of darkness and kill that one or something. Or, I don't know, it's something like that that just blinds them and keeps them from doing anything to us. Could be good. That should help. I mean, they might get over here, but maybe shoot him one more time. That's probably enough damage, though. Maybe shoot one more arrow of darkness. I just want to like see if I can no damage them or whatever. I could if I wasn't doing all these stunts, I'm sure, but not from up there, dummy. Okay. I can throw a silence on him. I wonder if that would work. I literally don't know, because I don't know if his spells like count as spells per se, but I'm gonna try it. We'll see how it goes. And I am worried that I'm getting to the point where he's gonna die or whatever now, but I'll just throw out a Hunger of Hadar on him and just lock him down that way. He does resist a lot of those damage types and reduce all incoming damage by a bit, so it's probably okay.
Fuck yes.
Alright guys, come on closer, we can benefit next turn, I guess. Alright, take your turn, little guy. Took some damage. But that's it. Oh, and he passes. Alright, we totally locked him down successfully. So that worked out perfectly. So now if we were to kill him, which we probably can't do because, you know, he is blocked from our sight and the skeletons are not good at shooting him. Alright. She's doing her moonbeam effect. She'll probably fly over. She's not good at that though, so she won't fly intelligently. She'll just dash and walk. Please spike yourself. I don't like you. Have I mentioned that lately? Hilarious. Yeah, they're having to dash you. I've successfully controlled everything here. Alright. So, if I now kill off Ketheric, he'll then spawn his next form. Ideally, I do that with, like, you know, something that's otherwise unimportant, but he is just hard to hit, so it might make sense. Are you not hasted? You're in the haste. You're literally in the haste. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good odds of just, you know, demolishing him. I'll shoot one beam at that guy or whatever to get my extra kill, and then I'll just poke, poke. There we go. I guess this scene can't be overridden by silence.
What a fool you are.
Again, he's back to being overconfident. Like, he was terrified to go anywhere without Aelin being locked down before, because he needed this double immortality. Oh, that's funny, to have the pit covered in spikes. Anyway. If he's so confident about not being killable before, why did they need Aelin anyway?
Lord of Bones, I am here.
I guess Myrkul can hear it even when he's silenced. And we don't do anything to stop this.
Yours!
Honestly, it kind of looks cool that's looking down through those spikes, although it is a little silly. Cool little monologue here by Myrkul. Although it does lose some of its impact when you consider he's like God of Death number 6 in this setting. He's been killed several times over. Yep. I am one of the gods of graves and age. One of the haunts of mausoleums wouldn't have the same impact, but that's probably going through Baldur' mind. Current temporary Lord of Bones.
But it is no matter, for I am death, and I am not the end. I am the beginning.
It is, as much as I've made fun of Myrkul, a cool moment. And he is a fun, well-designed boss. So I like both those things.
Oh dear.
But are you worried about Astarion? Alright. So, let's have a look at Myrkul. He kind of inherits some effects from his former form. Even though he's not really wearing armor, he keeps magical plate, for example. This makes him somewhat robust. That's only because of silence, don't worry about that. Inexplicably, the God of Death himself is still not immune to necrotic damage. And being a skeleton, I guess, he's not even resistant to bludgeoning damage if it's from any basic magic weapon. You know, this could be a minor nuisance, but like half my attacks do force damage anyway, so I just don't care that much. He has a good amount of hit points, decent armor class. You know, he's not a pushover, but like Garangoth Thorm was tougher and much more deadly on offense. He does have some wide-ranging AoE swing attacks. He can basically hit the entire arena with a blast that pulls toward him and does minor necrotic damage. His legendary action is, it wouldn't have been scary even in Act 1. It does, you know, okay damage, I guess, to one target, if they fail a Constitution save. And Frightened is an annoying status, but it's not that big a deal. So, let's cancel these spikes. They're now kind of getting in our way. I think Hunger of Hadar has outlived its usefulness too. I don't think he can be blinded by it. He can be blinded, although I will say, uniquely, most creatures that with legendary actions, if they're blinded, they can't do them. They just lose, basically. But he can still do his, such as it is. It doesn't really matter very much. So, let me cancel Hunger of Hadar. Wait, did the darkness just vanish? Did that just get cleared off the arena or something? How weird. One thing I do want to do, of course, is just get that kill on Astarion so he has his extra action. No doubt about that. Well, what I'm going to do, I guess, is let's have Astarion throw a water bottle at the guy.
Hurry.
Alright, so we don't care about the legendary action. It's not important. It was never important. And then let's have you run over here, and you'll just blast away with a lightning bolt, which I'm going to max out, because it's the end of Act 2, I'm about to get the full restore between acts, so I might as well just have fun throwing my powerful spells out there. Massive damage. Why can't I do her next lightning bolt? Oh, she didn't get the haste this time. Whoops. Well, that's fine. Run on back into those haste spores. Oh, that provokes the attack. But there's way she got up here without provoking. Whatever, doesn't matter too much. We've got tons of attacks that can bring her down.
Your command.
Your cantrips are buffed. And I could do powerful spells too. Maybe I will. He is resistant to that now because of the wet status, but I guess I could do a Ray of Cold to be more effective now, wouldn't it? Immune to prone. Whatever, doesn't matter. You can blast away with massive force damage. Oh, you don't have your haste either. Get in there, you. Did it not get in? It didn't get in there. Wasted all its movement without getting in there. Yeah. The haste spore cloud, I will say, is one of the weirdest things in the game. It does not work properly. But that's fine. We'll blast away, do a pile of damage to the guy. Force damage he doesn't resist. Ballista probably has enough to bring him down.
My turn.
I could also just provoke the attack and not worry about it. I've also got these guys. Right, they do lightning damage too. Join the party, guys. I guess they could have gone into the haste as well. Probably should. Get in there. And please actually use it. Where's that random skeleton that's blocking the way? You? Is it you? No, it's that guy. He's got a teleport. If he can just get the speed active, it won't be a problem. But somehow he failed to do that. Alright, whatever. That was a bit of a waste, but it's fine. We've got tons of leftover guys. We can do whatever we want. If it'll just click.
Dance macabre.
Target us at normal range. I guess we'll walk closer then. Why don't we? I do think there's a certain amusement in having his own undead that should be under his command turn against him. Not that they'll do much damage, but...
Nothing will stand in my...
Oh, you still have another attack even. So strengthen Shillelagh yourself, run on up, pummel it for damage that doesn't resist. Managed to ensnare the guy even. Huh. Missed that time. Alright, get your boyfriend in here.
Easy.
He does bludgeoning damage, although his isn't magical even though it's called Magical Club. You can't trust anyone. Wah-wah.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
What's this?
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna do it. Wait, he failed to actually do the attack after all that? I could have just done this the whole time. Alright, well, I guess we'll do that. Let's get back up there and throw another lightning bolt at him. Can that elemental get out of the way? Yeah, it can move wherever it wants.
Let's cook with fire, baby.
Throw another high-power lightning bolt out. Nice. And we'll let Baldur do the honors for fun here. That's what I was really trying to work toward there. Alright. Worth shocking little XP. Like 1/3 as much as Garangoth is worth. The XP in this game is completely insane, as I mentioned before. But there we go, we've killed a god, or, well, quasi-deity. Myrkul will be blamed by Ketheric for the whole fiasco.
Impossible. Death cannot take me.
I guess he is not aware of how many gods of death have been killed.
My lord.
And if you were so confident about that, why did he have another layer of invincibility anyway? He didn't forsake you, he's a quasi-deity. He did the best he could. Lay off him. You're the one who screwed this up, Ketheric.
You have...
And again, he acts as though this is some kind of major loss for him, when really, like, he should be glad that things have worked out okay now, and Isabel will get to live in a world that doesn't suck. And... oh! Joy! Because she was silenced, she didn't do her stupid thing. I wonder if I get rid of that, if that'll happen then.
Take it.
Okay. What's gonna happen as I go up to that? Okay, I'm gonna have to play in here a scene that was blocked as she was silenced. So here comes Aelin, swooping in to once again steal the spotlight from the player. Aelin, who not only contributed nothing to this victory, but was, in fact, the biggest liability that my team faced because she got herself captured again like an idiot. Then she mutilates the body of the dead guy. Conduct very unbecoming of a paladin. It seems like half the time she's on screen she's doing something like that. Mutilating the dead, or murdering a helpless person, or going on a completely insane rant about how she'll kill your children if you've crossed her. Somehow she gets away with all of that. Doesn't break her oath, whatever that was.
We pick our way toward our fates. Unleashed.
And speaking of breaking oaths, for the second time now she's sworn fealty to us, but she won't honor that either. She won't obey even the simplest, smallest request you might make of her. I wouldn't mind that Aelin is worse than many of the game's villains while having gone through less than most of them, if the game acknowledged that. But it seems like instead she's really hyped up and portrayed as a glorious hero, and these tantrums are portrayed as epic moments rather than childish and depraved ones. Back from that, let us loot the body of Ketheric Thorm, which is over there, for some reason. No check to do this right like there was for severing Nir's head. It looks harder to me to get that gem out of there.
In death, the body is cooling, but energy radiates from...
Since he was already undead, you think he was already room temperature. And here's a scene that I literally cannot explain. It makes no sense on any level. The Dream Visitor can now inexplicably leave the prison, but the Dream Visitor isn't a real thing. The Dream Visitor is some kind of vision or whatever that the Mind Flayer gives us, but now it's a physical thing. You know, Aelin can see it too or whatever. But, like, if he could have left the prison with a fake body the whole time and have that do his dirty work, why didn't he do that this whole time? Why pretend he couldn't help?
It has been dominated.
Why not have this thing come out and... I guess in the final boss fight he'll have, like, some created beings to fight if you sat against him, but also... Again, if he can create hench beings that are very strong to do his dirty work and have them leave the prison, why doesn't he do that the entire time? Why does he only now... And there's no explanation. There's no explanation. It's just not consistent. And writing-wise, it's weird too, because we're about to find out this is all fakery. In like what 2 scenes, we'll find out that he's really a mind flayer and this has all been a trick. So why have it come out here now instead of just doing its usual talk in our heads thing? It raises so many questions for no benefit, really.
The crown's markings suggest it was forged in Netheril, an ancient empire whose mastery over magic rivaled that of the gods. It is a crown of domination,
A little ironic that the crown allows the person who wears it to be controlled, I suppose.
They are netherstones, imbued with the ability to control the wearer of the crown. The crown's netherese magic must be the true source of the parasites.
As I mentioned, there's no reason whatsoever that the connection between the magic of Netheril and the things these parasites do.
The reason nobody could heal you.
Or like sun immunity for a sword and things like that. There's no connection. They're just vague magic stuff that happens to do what the plot needs them to do. And to pretend he doesn't know exactly who they all are.
One of them I know, Lord Enver Gortash.
That's one he knows best, to be fair, I guess.
Slaver, a worshipper of Bane, the god of tyranny. The other is a mystery to me, but the way she spoke, it is most likely she follows Baal, god of murder.
Yeah, the way she spoke certainly gave that away. Incoherent ranting about murder and corpses all the time.
And our enemies are the chosen of the dead three.
This is the thing that's not really this game's fault as much as a problem with most D&D settings that are high magic and have gods like this, but we see again and again and again. They make the excuse, oh, the guards aren't allowed by AO to intervene. They sure intervene all the time against us. We fight avatars of gods constantly. Shar does things to us constantly. The evil gods do things constantly. Direct divine intervention happens all the time. But somehow the good gods won't do anything useful. You end up with this plot of lawful useless against chaotic stupid, as the evil gods sabotage themselves because they're completely incompetent.
And the lives of everyone in favor.
But the gods will let the world just end, apparently, before they'll do anything, if they're the good ones. Whereas the evil ones are allowed to do whatever they want with no, action from AO whatsoever.
With power, ready to turn everyone within its reach.
I think they could have made a story that would be more coherent if they had just had it be no gods involved on either side. But of course it makes for good drama to have us go up against gods and not have gods on our side. I know what fantasy writers do that, but it wouldn't be much of a story if the good gods did all of the work for us or whatever. But it also just makes the good gods look impotent and not very good, in fact, if they just sit back and let the world burn, while the evil gods are not obeying any rules.
You must be the sword. And when the chance comes...
If anything, you'd expect it to be like the lawful gods that obey stupid rules, and the chaotic ones, good or bad, intervene more. So he keeps this cute note from Isabel. He has a thoroughly worthless warhammer, really. I guess he eats like ordinary people. His shield here is, it's decent. It's not great, but it's decent. Just having an offhand that gives you +1 to spell save between spell attack rolls is worth something. So yeah, I'm glad to have that. I probably won't use it compared to +3 armor class shields most of the time, but it's not bad either. This armor, it's pretty bad. We had armor that did this stuff and better really back in Act 1. We had better stuff than this in Act 2. It's cool, it's thematic, it looks neat. I like that. There's a unique little perk here that you can toggle that to not be moved, but that's such a rare situation compared to disadvantage dexterity saving throws. You can get some mileage out of it, I guess. So, I appreciate that it's unique, but it's not very good. So, no thank you to that one. We will probably sell the armor.
Wretched thing.
Alright, we can go over here and loot some silverware. The Mind Flayer might have something useful, come to think of it. Mind Flayers sometimes have speed potions, so I should remember to loot him too. I probably won't bother looting like the 2 coins apiece from everyone else around here.
Build my...
Scribe Yanthus must be thoroughly loyal because he's written down all kinds of crazy things that he's hearing. Vecna, by the way, is a character from one of the original D&D settings, Greyhawk, where he was kind of a lich that became a god, and he really has no place in this setting, but over the years they've mindlessly connected every single D&D setting to every single D&D setting with no concern for keeping any uniqueness to them. So Vecna has traveled from setting to setting and become a greater deity or whatever, just because he's kind of a known thing that players will recognize. Haven't seen many of these around, surprisingly. Made out of cheap pewter. I guess Gortash wasn't willing to splurge and make them out of silver or something. Maybe lead poisoning from cheap pewter, which used to contain a lot of lead, would explain some of the things these guys do. Randomly cloud giant finger. Okay. Let us head on up there. Oh no, the ladders. Okay, he made it. He made it. Run! Before the ladder blocks someone else. So we get back to where a party should be awaiting us. A party awaiting the party, as it were. At least they would be if the world was loaded in.
You saw Gortash, didn't you? What the fuck was he doing?
Oh my god, Karlach, keep up! We've known what he was doing for like an act and a half. We have 20 letters spelling out what he's doing exactly. This is why Ballista does not consider a relationship with Karlach to be viable. Alright, so we'll pick this option to represent him just spelling it out carefully and slowly for this dummy, piece by piece.
I'd never have protected a Bay Knight even a decade ago. I looked after that fucker with my life. I trusted him. He gave me away to Zariel without a second thought.
He sympathizes with her about this, but he's also just had it up to here with her stupidity about some of these things.
To die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him! He can't get away with what he's done. To me. To us. He won't get away with it.
Her dialogue was cut off there. That feels appropriate because Ballista was checked out of that conversation. Oh, Minthara's taking my seat. This is my one chance to get some approval with her, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Very well.
I will never tire of sitting on dead men's thrones.
Yeah, I did it earlier. It was pretty fun. He was technically dead then, too.
My blood ran hot when we broke Ketheric's bones together.
I like Minthara's voice acting. I've never seen this conversation before because I've never had Minthara in my party before. But I know this is where you can farm up most of the approval with her. Because I've gotten like nothing with her so far. Oh good, my turn to sit on it.
Time in the cult, I came to know one of his co-conspirators all too well.
As I mentioned before, it's kind of a nice touch of the three goblin leaders, you know, Minthara, Gut, and Rexlin. Each of them was sort of inducted by a different one of the Chosen. And we see them look through their visions or their memories or whatever.
You make it sound so simple.
I mean, it is. She worships Baal, the lamest of the dead three. We already took out Ketheric. She's nothing in comparison.
And one of the cult's founders. Indeed, she is the one who indoctrinated me with the Absolute's lies. When I first visited Moonrise.
Neat scene here, like the scenery and so forth.
In awe.
I think she gave us the story before, where she came in trying to do some kind of negotiation, and then Orin massacred her men at the table.
Power. Orin was by my side. She told me that God had chosen me to be a true soul. Blessed and adored. Now I know that those memories are lies. There was no God. Orin held me down in a cocoon of flesh.
Orin is pretty gross.
Forced a parasite into my brain. And she laughed at my fear. I will find her. I will murder.
Wait, let's not murder her. That's what Baal wants.
I will smile. Let them think that. There is a short path from saving.
Ballista was thinking this too. You know, the cult would be useful. He doesn't want to rule Baldur's Gate, but he was kind of inspired by Minthara early in his adventure, as I mentioned, where he saw that she was able to take these absolutely worthless goblins and force them to do useful tasks. Evil tasks, but useful ones. And that inspired him, because Astarion is his goblin. Astarion is this stupid, savage brute. A little taller than a goblin, but a goblin basically, in all but form. And he was able to then make Astarion do useful work. And Kharlak is maybe like, I don't know, the hill giant of the group. Not too bright, pretty strong. Not evil either. Minthara he thinks of as being maybe a cut above them because she has a brain.
I would have thought this entire...
But the idea of using the cult for some kind of good purpose definitely appeals to him. If he sees the opportunity to do it, he would do that. Safely.
We may fail, but we must try. The power of the enslaved Elder Brain could reshape the world. We could reshape the world. Patience. If we do not prepare, Baldur's Gate will...
Astarion thinks he's included. How cute.
If we are wise, it will be our dominion.
He doesn't want to rule Baldur's Gate, though, again. He just wants to have the cult do something useful. Maybe fight other monsters.
And then we will need no gods. We will be there.
We'll be their superior, because the gods do nothing.
We will be absolute. We have a purpose and a bond. By my oath, I will fight.
What is your oath again, exactly? It seems to be a little bit morphic, changing as the plot goes along.
You chose to incapacitate me rather than killing.
This must be new, added as they tried to remove bugs with her responding differently, or not responding to you having knocked her out.
So might any other true soul. And yet...
No. Gut was a goblin. That's the difference. Braxton was a hobgoblin. That's almost as bad.
Risk. Even though I owe my life to the part of you that showed me mercy, it concerns me. If Ketheric had ordered me to slay you to prove my worth, I would have. Or died trying.
Well, yeah, but no one was ordering me.
I should not lose myself in these thoughts of what might have been.
I do like this, though. This is a good addition to the dialogue. And I'm glad they keep updating the game as they fix bugs and add new options and things like that, and adding in lots of new quality voice acting to go with it.
Why come to Moonrise, where the cult's power is strongest? Why not walk away?
I feel like we've gone through this in character before.
A wise ploy, and it was successful to an extent. We did not find a cure, but we found our purpose. I am satisfied. Now, I am ready to leave this damned place whenever you give the word. The city awaits.
Scoot over, my chair.
From this seat,
He didn't defy gods.
and raised an army for the Absolute.
He obsequiously served gods.
Particularly comfortable.
Oh, gracious. It is a pleasure to be in your mighty sanctum.
Not for me. I would die for peace.
It is better to...
Never heard that dialogue. Interesting.
I, for one, will miss the Shadow Curse. For all the pain it caused us, it did at least
Yeah, Drow, for some reason she isn't affected, but Drow in general have sunlight sensitivity.
I take no pleasure in his passing. Whatever fault...
Didn't you? You talked about how your blood ran hot while we were wrecking his bones.
Leader. Of course. He ruled...
No, he didn't. He ruled Monas for a little bit, got killed, was dead for a century, and then came back and...
I believe he was an honorable man, but the gods used him as their plaything. First, Shah and her sister, then the three behind the Absolute. I sympathize. It is a sharp mind that feels sympathy for one who suffers unnecessarily, not a soft heart.
Maybe she can be convinced otherwise.
Ketheric, that had been diluted by pain. But I will never forgive him for handing me to Orin. For that, I hope Myrkul hollows out his bones and lets them be dust.
All right. Let us ignore Withers for now and talk to Jaheira and recruit her.
spread like rub rot. Treat one patch, and 2 more bloom in its place. An elder brain, bound by lost Netherese magic, with servants of the dead 3 holding the chain. Reminds me of old times. Aren't you? It is good to savor the moment of victory. But pace yourself. Our fight is just...
Yes, there certainly is a lot of great game content ahead of us.
I was licking my wounds. An old bear with her leg caught in the hunter's snare. Now I've slipped free of the trap and rediscovered my claws. It's time for me to hunt my prey. You have a
druids in their metaphors.
the scent of 2 more. These chosen have reason to fear you, and I would like to be at your side when you confront them.
I'd love to have her in my party. Ballista would too, because she's smart and useful, but mechanically she's terrible, so we won't be doing that.
Glad to be there. Falling foul of Ketheric convinced me that my grand adventures were behind me. That even if I survived, I should hang up my blades. But you convinced me otherwise. We ventured into darkness together. Now we've come out the other side. I'd say I'm feeling a little refreshed. When we reach Baldur's Gate, there will be even darker paths.
I don't know about that.
I will follow you wherever they lead. How does it compare to a shadow-cursed inn? With the Absolute's army gone, the Risen Road should be clear.
Somehow we'll beat the army there. I guess they march rather slowly.
Safe house in Worm's Crossing. Denthelan's Dancing Axe. We do well to check in with them before entering the city proper. Beyond that, our course is yours to set. Find me at your camp, huh? I can remember how to take orders, as well as give them.
Alright, well, great to have her on the team. And I think Ballista will be just glad to have someone else he feels like he can talk to as an equal in camp. Arcola is here. Let's talk to Arcola.
When Duke Elton formed the Flaming Fist, he sought out people of courage and honor.
The Flaming Fist is apparently vacillated between being honorable and just being seedy mercenaries over the years. We get contradictory information about how it is in this game. It seems to be kind of mixed. Some of them are criminals outright, and some of them are decent. A person who actually met Elton is interesting to talk to.
But he had the courage of 10 men, and the love for Baldur's Gate few could match. I don't know if this Duke Ravengard is the same, but I will say this. The Flaming Fist are the cornerstone of the city, and the Dukes are its foundation. I hope you can save him, for the good of Baldur's Gate. Thank you, but look at me.
I see they haven't given you any clothes for some reason. I guess he has better pants, still.
Besides, Thaniel should have someone.
Isn't Thaniel standing literally right here? I think I saw him earlier.
You don't have to worry about me. The truth is...
This sounds like a reason to worry about you, doesn't it?
Broke something inside me. Something no healer can fix.
You think that Halsin, of all people, would probably know a way to do so.
But, because of you...
He's been studying the Shadow Curse and so forth. And he knows all about Thaniel and how Thaniel can keep someone alive.
As he helped me. So, thank you, my friend. And know that I have no regrets.
Let's go talk to Thaniel, who I'm 80% sure I saw just meandering around earlier.
Thanks for watching out for me.
That would have been insane. Why would they do that? Well, I'm going to grit my teeth and talk to Aylin. She has more stupidity in store for us.
Aylin!
Now remember, she should have known 3 times over that Isabel is alive, but she refused to listen to us about anything. I forgot that her wings are detachable. She has her silly transformation sequence to bring them.
You were dead. I saw your body.
Does that mean anything in the setting where it's effortless to revive the dead?
I'm here. And so are you. And my father,
She mutilated the body. I don't know whether that would be disturbing to Isabel or not. Even if... yeah.
I dreamt every night that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo.
I had no dreams at all.
This is interesting and suspicious, because that's not what the afterlife is like. So that suggests that maybe Shar is keeping her from being revived. Although how Myrkul could do it then, yeah, I don't know exactly. But it is pretty obvious that there's a strong possibility that Shar was involved in her death, and so forth, to twist Ketheric, who fell for it like an idiot.
But for all his sins, he brought you back to me.
Yep, Selena completely failed to do that.
Are you all right?
I will be. And you?
In this moment, I want for nothing.
This is almost sweet, but when you learn more about the relationship later on, it's really not equal one and pretty twisted if you think about it. I'll talk about that later on.
Ah, there you are. This is Aelin.
You know, we kind of mentioned her when we talked to you earlier, and you denied being Ketheric's daughter and things like that for no reason. We've met, what?
This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy.
We actually didn't in this run, but she pretends that she did anything whatsoever in that fight. She's, as I said, just been a millstone around our neck.
I have more to thank you for than I knew. And we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later?
Now, we've already gotten into trouble with Aelin refusing to talk to us right away when we rescued her, and then getting herself captured and not knowing Isabel was alive and things like that.
Do not speak so...
Now, she's sworn fealty to us twice over, and she still refuses to do this basic thing of talking to us now. I absolutely hate her. She's an idiot. She doesn't mean anything she says about swearing fealty or things like that. She's the biggest liability our team is facing.
She thought the same of me. Let us join you later. I'm sure we'd have much of interest to say to one another.
We can't just tell Aelin to shut up.
Very good. We look forward to it.
Now, you will leave us.
And she gives us orders.
Sucker in one another's bodies and what...
Aelin! We'll see you later.
Let's talk to Withers over here.
Thy hunger denied.
Darker line here about us having not killed Isabel. I guess we could, but we certainly wouldn't want to.
Thou hast seen with thine own eyes and felt in thine urges. The dead three unite. There are depths to this alliance.
This part here makes no sense at all on any level.
Consider, mortal.
So,
do Illithids...
In all previous lore, yes, Illithids undoubtedly have souls. They could be adventurers. You could revive them. They had a separate soul from whoever they consumed. That was the case up until this game decided that suddenly Ceramorphous destroyed her soul, which was never the case before. It was explicitly not the case before. So there's establishing new lore now that Illithids don't have souls for some reason. But then they'll contradict that immediately in this very game. So I don't know why they're doing this. They're contradicting previous lore and then contradicting themselves, and it doesn't add anything either.
Correct.
We'll see multiple Illithids do in fact have souls in this game. He'll admit it himself.
That's an Illithid arm.
And he just fails to grasp the basics of their plan here for some reason. And actually, though, it's weird that they have Illithids in their army when Illithids are soulless. But like...
A flock without souls, yet to what end?
We know what their end is. It's like asking, why does Myrkul have soulless skeletons in his army? They serve a purpose. They're useful soldiers.
Time, be availed of my services.
He could tell you everything, but he just chooses not to because plot convenience.
Yes, babe.
And I want to remind you, of course, the Dead 3, 100% his fault. One day, these three bumbling adventurers walked into his throne room as the god Jurgol, and he decided, I'm tired of being responsible. I'm gonna make these three morons the god of death.
The alliance is reforged.
They couldn't even agree who would do each of the things. He had to decide multiple games between them, and even if he wanted to just be lazy and give up being a god of death and have anyone else do it, just whoever first walked into his throne room, he could still have done better, but just been like, maybe I'll just pick Bane, or maybe I'll just pick Myrkul, not frickin' Ball.
Where matters of balance are concerned, I am eternally cold.
We called for balance that day when he decided to ruin everything. Alright. Let's stroll around and talk to more people. I'll probably save some of that for next time, along with our camp conversations and the between Acts 2 and 3 fun fighting against a bunch of Githyanki that come out of nowhere. Alright, hope you had fun. I enjoyed all this except for everything where Aelin was on the screen. Thank you for watching, everyone, and a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Master Knight DH, Jackie, and Lino, Travis, Andrew Curzon, Troobsy, Oliver, Shrev OG, BD, Gregory, William Wakefield, Broken Box, Jeffrey Morse, Jack, Marcus the Carcass, Nubiana, Till Fisher, Discord Colossus, Nicholas Schmuck, Kosia Nesterovich, Frederick Brune, Techno Waffle, Nebular, I Loop, Emperor Kong 420, Robin, Micken Balls, Micah Marie, Stefan Van Zyl, Eddie, Kaimu, Mina, Ali Kasamoglu, Skylar Sauce, Nick Myers, Emp Ninjas, Chupaton, Diabetic Cat, Marvin Fang, Max, Sosa972, Afro Samurai, and Cacper M. Have a great day, everyone.